if happiness is a choice, how do we actually make the right daily conscious choices to stay on a peak state and be happy all the time? Hi, beautiful people, and welcome to this week's message. Today I'm going to give you 4 key elements on how to stay very happy, how to sustain your happiness by making the right choices on a daily basis. So let's dig right into it. Element number 1, choose to learn how your body, your mind, and your soul works. What do I mean by that? Our choices in our life generates hormones that are produced by different glands in our system. These hormones will give you positive feelings or negative feelings. The hormones are there to maintain our survival, but also to give us expressions of happiness. Happiness is nothing more than a state generated by feelings, and those feelings are generated by hormones. There is 4 main hormones that affect our mood on a consistent basis. I'm going to give you the first 3 hormones that are positive in our life, which are dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Those 3 hormones, if we learn how to produce those hormones on a consistent basis without abusing them, it will dramatically increase our quality of life by generating consistent happiness. Now, the 4th and most important hormone that you really have to control is cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and cortisol is responsible for making you sad, depressed, helping you gain weight. It sends stress signals throughout your body so your organs start to deteriorate. Having said that, though, cortisol is very important for your survival. Without cortisol, you wouldn't be here. Stress in amounts, on unlimited amounts, with limited time frames, is actually very good for you. For example, when you exercise, you're releasing cortisol because your stress hormones will actually tell your muscles to pump, to create the energy that it needs for the demand that you're putting in your body. But that's for a small period of time. The problem is when you live your life based on cortisol alone and you have sustained levels of stress throughout your life, you eventually die from a heart attack, or you develop diabetes, or you develop cancer. So everything is about a balance. So that's strategy number 1. Number 2, be curious, or actually focus on learning how to keep your body on a peak state. I'm talking about specifically health. I'm talking about specifically what do you need on a daily basis with food and food, nutrition, but also exercise, so that you are producing the right hormones at the right time so that you feel happy. And not only feel happy, you're actually going to live a healthy lifestyle. It's very important. This topic alone, I can talk for days about it. If you look at my life, in the worst time of my life, I was losing my hair, I was 40 pounds overweight, I was almost an alcoholic. This happened 8 years ago, between 2009 and 2012. And I was choosing to live on cortisol most of the time. Because you cannot live on cortisol most of the time or all the time, then your body immediately tries to develop dopamine. How do you get dopamine? By drinking alcohol. It's a pleasure hormone. Little rewards gives you dopamine. Dopamine is actually not bad. The problem is if you get dopamine from substances like alcohol, like drugs, you will get the hit and it will lower your stress, it will lower your cortisol, but you eventually become addicted to it. So you have to be very curious on learning how your body actually works. How much exercise do you actually need every day? What else do you need to do to keep your tempo, your body in a peak state? Part of that is also meditation. Are you taking 10 minutes a day to reflect and think about your day and how to improve it? Or maybe, start talking with God or whoever you believe or even talking to yourself if you just believe in yourself, and try to go deep inside yourself so you can create a state of calmness, so you can lower your revolutions after work or maybe before work. Personally, what I do is I meditate first thing in the morning, and then after I finish my day, I also meditate. My faith is Christianity, so what I do is on my meditation, even though I follow different type of meditation leaders, I'm always talking to God. And that creates a beautiful state of mind, especially after a hard day of work, or especially after a very hard time. Now let's talk about exercise. Try to do at least go for a walk for 10 minutes. Try to go for a walk 20 minutes. There is no better way to release those beautiful hormones than after a good workout. I personally walk every day, and I also lift weights. I do resistance training twice a week or 3 times a week. And guess what? After the cortisol stress hormone goes through my body when I'm working out, right after that, I get this beautiful, amazing feeling of happiness and joy, because all the other hormones come after the stress hormone on your exercise pattern. And after that, my body becomes better. And your food, finally your food, choose to eat right. The fuel that you put into your body is what makes your body good or bad. So it's okay to snack on junk food once in a while, but make your primary meals nutritious meals. I don't have to tell you what to eat. You are grown enough to go find out what it is. But you know what it is. It's vegetables, clean protein, and good fruits. It's a no-brainer. Try to avoid sugar, right? All right, let's go to our next element. Choose to learn how to improve your relationships. A big part of our happiness is the people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis. So when you put your focus on learning how to become better in your relationships at work, at home, with your partner, with your kids, with your friends, you're going to start increasing your level of happiness on a daily basis. And a big part of that is making sure you learn how to create an emotional bank account in your mind, like an artificial emotional bank account, where you know that you have to deposit money in that bank account to the people that you're interacting with, but they also have to deposit money back to you. So you give and you take, and the amount of giving and taking has to be equal. If it's not equal, if you only give and give and give and you don't take, you become resented. Yeah, for the contrary, if you only take and take and take and you don't give anything, your relationship will deteriorate, because then you will start taking advantage of the other person. So part of your responsibility on relationships is to make sure that you have this equilibrium where you give and take, but it's not only giving or not only taking. Super important. And finally, my last point to choose sustained happiness. You have to realize that this life is only 70, 80, 90 years. Probably the person that will live the most is maybe 105 years. Our time in this world is so short that if you don't take care of every minute of your day, and if you don't make the right choices that I gave you before, you're gonna waste your time. And that is invaluable. There isn't money enough in the world that can take you back 5 minutes from your time. If you choose the wrong things that doesn't produce happiness in your life, you're done. That time is gone, you suffer, and you never get that time back. So the most important part of all this is be conscious that your time is your most valuable possession, and fight to have the right choices in a single day to maintain your happiness level. So with that, I leave you to next week. We're going to go deeper into each one of these steps, because I truly believe that we're born in this world to be happy, to have an abundant life, and to add massive value to the world. So have a wonderful weekend, and see you next time.